got to take him to practice today. Usually I don't have to take him on Thursdays, but today she asked me to take him. So.
No, we live. We back at it. Oh, damn. I might just try to set it up during the show. I'll try to see if I can put that number.
Oh, for sure.
Put the line on. You know,
yes,
man.
Yes, sir.
You know what's crazy? Remember I told you, like, everything got resetted and I had to, like, redo everything? Yeah. And I looked it up and it said that it should have saved. Everything should have saved.
For real?
So if I log back in, it should have saved. It's crazy, man.
That's wild.
That's
what did they do?
Yeah, man. It is what it is, man. But we back at it around the Shield. A little hiatus. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's been a minute.
For sure.
I know it's same kind of the same show, different format. You know what I mean? But still, you know, this is for our landscape people.
Exactly.
Our landscape people.
Nah, fact.
Don't forget to clock in, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Here goes the silent intro. We back, man, for another edition of Around the Shield, man. Back, finally, man. We were a little bit on a hiatus. You know, it's the offseason. You know, offseason is kind of like, it's its own different beast, different animal, you know, like, at the end of the day, like, it's not going to be the same as the season, but we'll try to keep going at it. We'll try to get more people on. That's kind of the goal, is try to get people on today. And let me see. I'm gonna try to see if I can set up the phone lines today, So, people, if they want to call in, chop it up, talk about the Raider offseason so far, what's to come, all that good stuff. We'll get into that. But if you haven't already, make sure to clock in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. We're going live on both our channels. So definitely subscribe if your first time joining us, to myself, PharoahNFL, obviously the Severe Raider. Man, what's going on, Severe? How you been, man? I haven't seen you in a while, man. It's been a couple days.
Right? All right, exactly. Oh, man. Hey, things are starting to happen, man. Things are starting to happen within Raider Nation. We're starting to get some clarity. Coaching staff coming together a little bit. We're starting to get some clarity and a clearer picture on some of these players on the roster, potential trades. I think, hey, it's an exciting time to be a Raider fan, man. And it's like you said, man, this is our Super Bowl. This is our Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. The Raiders offseason is our prolonged Super Bowl, whatever you want to call it. This is what we've been waiting for. This is what we look forward to. This is when we're the most positive, the happiest, and we're thinking about the possibilities. People are celebrating off of every little move. This, for me, for the last, I don't know how, well, I guess since the Raiders have been competitive, yeah. I mean, this has been, it's a long time, we're talking about a long time. And I'm not counting the 2016s where we made the playoff appearance, or the 2021 where we made a playoff appearance. If you exclude those years, then we're talking about 2002, beginning of the 2000s, which is a long time ago. I know we got some OGs watching it, and it feels like yesterday, but that's a long time. That's a long time.
Our potential future franchise quarterback wasn't even born
yet. Yeah, Mendoza. We'll get into the Mendoza talk, because we all know that I feel like he's going to be the pick, but I just want to point this out to prepare Raider Nation for the talking points, the conversations. And if you've been watching us long enough, we've had those conversations a little bit. We talked about, like, this is what we have an issue with. This is what we don't have it, like, but we let the process play it out. And then, you know what? We're like, okay, Mendoza's a guy. So we'll get into the Mendoza talk a little bit. Most importantly, we'll talk about Maxx Crosby. I know you guys see the title and everything. We've been talking about this, like, during the season. It's crazy. A lot of these storylines and all this, we've talked that way before they even happened. Because we've seen it coming. If you've been a fan long enough, you're a sports fan long enough, you've seen guys get traded, you seen guys be disgruntled, you see smoke, and when you hear a lot of smoke, sometimes when you hear a lot of smoke, or see a lot of smoke, there's potentially a fire. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Man. So we'll get into the Maxx Crosby conversation too. And then also, potential coaching staff hires. We'll talk about that a little bit. We'll see what we've heard so far. I know people in the chat, man. Hey, man, appreciate everybody pulling up. The crew's in the building, man. The evening crew, the night crew, the swing crew. We got all the crews in the building.
Crew, whatever you want to call it.
Yes, sir. Fellas, man, what's going on? Dominique in the building, man. Appreciate you pulling up. Super Omicron, my guy. He says, y'all ready for this Kubiak era with Mendoza? Let's go. The presses will be cray with that dude. Hey, I've seen people kind of like call out the media right now because they feel like they're pushing certain narratives, and they feel like, like before, they were officially connected with the team. They were talking about how good of a coach Kubiak is. They're talking about how good of a quarterback that Mendoza is. But now that he's connected with the Raiders, it's a little bit like, oh, well, I don't know. They're not too sure about it. And this and that third. I feel like Raider Nation, we're like the kings of, like, conspiracy. We have that the me against the world attitude for good reason, just because historically speaking, like, with Al Davis, starting with Al Davis, it really starts with Al Davis. Like, literally, he sued the NFL. And then there's been multiple times and occasions where, we've seen, to say the least, like, terrible calls. And, we feel like the refs have kind of been like, have done us no favors in the league and all that stuff. We can get into that. But I just feel like
scheduling, that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, we got the one and only. What's good? Appreciate you coming through. We got everybody pulling up today.
For sure.
Laker Nation, Maxx to Jets for 3 first-rounders, period. Yeah,
3. Ain't no 3.
I hope so.
I don't think they're doing that. It wouldn't make sense for the Jets. It wouldn't make sense.
I would love it.
Any trade with the Jets it's gonna be involve our first round pick if we our first overall pick if we make a trade with the Jets. Max, maybe the Cowboys, maybe the Lions. I can see something like that. Maybe the Buccaneers. I can see something like that. The Rams, if they want to put somebody across from Jared Verse, they got an extra first rounder, but it wouldn't make sense for the Jets.
Yeah, it was good. My guy, Ready to Smoke 89 in the building, man. Appreciate you pulling up. So let's start with this because I know we were going to talk about it on the 50-50 show earlier this week. We just didn't have enough time to get into it, but this is what's been being talked about. Outside of the Kubiak hire and all the other stuff going on with the Raiders, obviously a lot to be excited about. But my guy Javier says, can you give me the real story about Crosby? All right. Look, when we talked about it, or I should say, and when I've talked about it as well, like on social media, on the shows, it wasn't me saying that Maxx wants to leave. It wasn't saying that the Raiders want to go. It was just obvious where the Raiders were headed. The Raiders are headed for a rebuild. When I look at this team, I'm looking at this as a rebuild. Now, with Pete Carroll coming into town, I kind of waited because I was like, you know what? I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm like, Pete Carroll came in the door swinging, saying that he's going to do this, he's going to do that, he's going to do this, he's going to win this, he's going to win that. He didn't do none of that. So now the Raiders had to come to terms and look, and I hope Raider Nation also had to like look at it from a realistic, because they had to see an entire season of Pete Carroll and this team, and they had to like, you know what? Yeah, we need to build this team the right way. Yeah. We need to draft a quarterback high. We need to build around that young QB. We need to add talent to other parts of the football team, and that's not going to take 1 year. It's not a reload type of situation. So when you think about that, right? And that was at the time when we were talking about it. We're like, you know what? To be honest with you, Maxx is on a different trajectory. He's 28 years old, going on 29. You know, you got to start thinking about, like, by the time the Raiders are good, will Maxx still be in his prime?
Exactly.
Would it make sense? And then also, if you look at a lot of the rebuilding teams, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you get on this real quick. If you look at some of the teams that were able to, like, some of these talented teams in the NFL, some of them, they were able to get a good trade haul for a player that, you know, you probably could have looked at as a franchise player for them, face of the team. Matthew Stafford, Detroit Lions, end up going to the Rams. You know, it could be a situation where the Raiders get helped and then the other team gets helped. We all know that Maxx is a great player. It's not. I'm not doubting that. I'm not questioning Maxx. This is not like a Devontae Adams situation. It's just how many coaches that coaching staffs has he been through? Even the way that, and this is before all the stuff happened. I just looked at it from a common sense, like, hey, he wants to win.
Yeah.
He wants to be a Hall of Famer. He wants to be looked at. And I'm not gonna lie, like, it's kind of messed up. He hasn't really had a lot of accolades because he's on a trash team. Because with winning, not all players. There's players that transcend it, but the players that transcend it, they have to do something crazy, like Myles Garrett.
Exactly.
Like Myles Garrett. But if you're on a winning team and you're great, it's easier to get the accolades. Because his ultimate goal is to get into the Hall of Fame. He wants to get into the Hall of Fame. He wants to win.
Well, he's beyond. His goals are beyond that.
He wants to be the greatest.
Yeah, his goal. But that's the thing, though. Like with the whole Maxx situation, it was about, we caught this early on, right? Because all you have to do is read the tea leaves. Where are the Raiders and where's Maxx Crosby? Now, obviously, a lot of Raider Nation, they took a little bit of hiatus off of realism because Pete Carroll came in here and was lying to y'all from the start I told y'all from jump, Pete Carroll, he's a bald-faced liar. When Pete Carroll said he was a Raiders, he went from being a 49ers fan to being a Raiders fan. Like, come on, dog. Seriously? The 2-15 Raiders, that was an expansion team at the like that you certainly started being a fan of that team. So I knew he was lying. So he sold everybody a dream. And people bought into it. So they started to think, okay, well, we can build a winner. And we can have Maxx Crosby here, where he can be part of this winning organization. But now that reality then hit everybody in the face, they're slowly starting to come along to the realization that, yo, bro, our timelines don't match up. The fact that Max has done had 8-9 surgeries, 2 consecutive years, he didn't finish the year on IR, needing surgeries, right? He's going to be by the time he's done with this contract, he's going to be on the wrong side of 30. And then we're going to have to make a decision on Max. Do we re-up him again for another 3-4 years? A guy that's on the wrong side of 30 coming off multiple injuries, multiple surgeries. Like, does that make sense for us where we're at as an organization? It really doesn't, right? It really doesn't. So then you have to start looking at what Max wants. And obviously Max wants to win. He talks about that all the time. And he wants to not only be, like a great player, he wants to be one of the greatest players ever. And to be to be held in that esteem, you have, or in that regard, you have to win, or you have to be a part of great defenses. And we have had a defense finished in the top 20 exactly one time with Maxx Crosby here. Once. So it's like, so he's not going to, you talk about him not getting that recognition. Part of it is because, yo, bro, you got to do something special. That's on you. You got to do something special. That's on you. But also, like you said, it comes with team success. So you look at all of these factors, and the thing that just makes the most sense is for the Raiders to get something out of this deal, and for Max to get something out of this deal, and for the other team to get something out of the deal as well. That's why when people come here, oh man, I want 5 first-round picks. Like, bro, like that's not how negotiations work. You never want somebody to walk away, and especially in not an environment where there has to be reciprocal interest, right? Or you have to work inside certain parameters. You never want to make somebody that made a deal with you feel like they were taken advantage of, because there's going to come a point in time when you may want to make a deal with that team again later. Now, sometimes offers are too good to pass up, i.e. the Lakers and Dallas Mavericks, right? The Lakers were obviously taking advantage of the Dallas Mavericks. Everybody knew it but the Mavericks, right? So but now if Dallas was in a perfect place to trade with the Lakers, and the Lakers were in a perfect place to trade with Dallas, it would never happen, because Dallas is never going back to that trade table, because they felt they were taken advantage of, and their fan base felt they were taken advantage of. So if the Raiders are out here trying to just Epstein somebody on this trade, it's not going to work out in the long run, because we're going to end up hurting ourselves and potentially hurting future moves we can make. And no team wants to walk away from a trade feeling like they've been, like I said, like they've been taken advantage of. No GM wants to be in that position, and no team should try to put a team in that position. Because, like I said, that has ramifications, because they're going to look at, other teams will look at that and say, you know what, I'm not making a deal with you. I'm not making a move with you. Don't we hear the rumor, like, where fans are like, bro, why are you trading with the Eagles? Why are you making a deal with Howie Roseman? Right? We heard this in the last offseason. Like, bro, why are you making a trade with Howie Roseman? Like, Howie Roseman is the smartest guy in the room. Like, don't trade with that guy, because he knows something you don't know. So that's the danger you run into when you trying to take advantage of these teams. Make a fair deal that works for all parties involved.
Well, the fair deal is basically Max is a great player that's going to be a missing piece to whatever that next team is trying to build or trying to, make that run for the Super Bowl. And then for the Raiders, they're going to get their draft picks. They're going to get the worth of a great player. So we can't just look at it on the surface of saying like, oh, just because it's multiple first-round picks, multiple whatever, you know what I mean? Or if it's a Micah Parsons situation, 2 first-round picks and you got a starter level a player on offense or defense. At the end of the day, like, the other team is getting a great player. You know what I'm saying? Like when Micah went to the Packers, everybody was talking about the Packers being a Super Bowl contender immediately.
Yeah.
It's just that. So if it works out or not, that's just, you gotta, time will tell. But at the end of the day, like, when it happens, everybody knew what it was. Like, okay, Dallas They got what they got, but the Green Bay Packers obviously got Micah Parsons. They got a missing piece to their defense. They got another impact player on their football team. Now, real quick, let me just address this super chat. My guy Smoke in the building says perfect time to trade Maxx, get the franchise QB, stock up on picks to boost that roster. I get the emotional attachment fans have, but the smart thing to do is to send him on his way, win-win, and do both. And that's the thing. Yeah. And think about going back to what I was saying earlier, because this is when I first was talking about this, and then me and Severe was having these conversations. We were like, man, this is we can see where it's going. You got one team going this way, and then you got a player that wants to go that way. Yeah. And it's like, man, it makes sense to trade. At the time, people were like, oh, why are you guys putting this narrative out there? Why are you guys pushing this narrative? Like, people were thinking that we're doing this on purpose, but in reality, we just could see it coming. And what happened? What happened? What happened when a team is going a different direction and a player is going a different direction? As time goes on, certain moves happen. And when certain moves happen, do the player agree with it? No. Do the team agree? Think about it. Perfect example. How did the season end for Maxx?
Didn't sit down.
They shut him down. They shut him down, and he didn't want to be shut down. And everybody, when that happened, everybody's like, oh, the Raiders are tanking. Raiders are tanking. And I think Maxx took it as that too. Because he felt like he could have finished the season and then handled whatever he had to handle with his knee after the season. But he obviously didn't agree with it. So you see how, like, when teams are not on the same page, when a player is not on the same page, things like this happen.
Yeah.
Hold on one second, sir.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess the main thing I would say regarding the situation is that, like, when you look at the Micah Parsons and the Micah Parsons deal, right? The trade between Dallas and Green Bay. Most people felt that Dallas won that trade, right? And not Dallas, I mean, they felt that Green Bay won that trade. Most people said, you getting Micah Parsons, a guy in his prime, this impact of a defensive player. They felt Green Bay won that trade. And that's what I'm saying. That's why you don't want to feel, you don't want the team you're trading with to feel like they're being taken advantage of, or you don't try to ask. I mean, you obviously go into negotiations. To negotiations, you get the best deal that you can, but you don't go into the negotiations with the team feeling like you're trying to take advantage of it. And that's a two-way street, right? You don't want a team to come to these negotiations trying to take advantage of the Raiders, because, like I said, that just sets a bad precedent, and that will make teams. It will create adversarial situations when it comes time to try to consummate trades in the future. Because GMs and teams and organizations, they have long memories. Like, it's going to be a long ass time before we trade another third round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be a cold day in hell before we trade for another receiver from the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got us twice. And we got a third round Martavis Bryant. And we went back to the well because it was like, damn, well, they got us with Martavis Bryant, but damn, Antonio Brown? Come on, dog, for a third rounder? You can't say no to that. And then they got us again. So you never want to feel like you being taken advantage of, or like they snuck one in on you, because that just salts the earth, and it'll be hard for that to ever come back again.
And but I hear you, but I don't think it's that big of a deal, just because Steelers are still making trades. They're still making moves. They still traded the other receiver from that went to the Cowboys this season, had a huge year. What I'm saying is that, like, teams are still gonna, like, they're gonna evaluate the talent, and they're gonna be like, hey, is this a player that they're still gonna do it? They're still gonna do it. So I don't think it's that huge of a deal. But that being said, I think the Maxx situation is just playing out the way we kind of seen it coming, because it's like, at some point the team is gonna want to do certain moves. They're gonna have a vision for the team, and the player is gonna have a vision for himself and what he wants for the team as well, because he wants to compete at the highest level. If the Raiders are gonna be making moves to prepare this team for the future, which we all want, because we want this team to be great, because whatever we've been doing the last, I don't know how many years, reload, and it doesn't work. Like, At some point, we got to do it right. And if that doesn't convince you enough, the last time we actually built through the draft was when we had McKenzie, right? When we had a GM that was actually running the team, was actually, however way you feel with McKenzie, he was with the team for 5 years, and he hit on some draft picks, and especially that draft class. And you've seen the impact of having a draft class like that, and you've seen like how much of that talent was able to like help the team and develop and all that good stuff, right? So that's what I'm saying with the Raiders is like they need not one player, not one talent. They need talents on a football team. They need multiple players. They need multiple. And when you trade a Maxx Crosby, we know he's a great player. We know he's a great player. But then you get multiple premium picks. Multiple premium picks means you got multiple starters.
Yeah.
At the very least, you're getting multiple starters. Because we've seen what Maxx Crosby alone by himself does for the team. It's not going to do anything.
Ideally, you get multiple starters. Sometimes you get Tyree Wilsons, but ideally,
Yeah.
if you do your homework right, you're gonna get multiple impact players. But I think this regime is going to be more diligent about who they draft in the first round, outside of Ashton Genty. But other than that, I think they're going to be going forward without the Pete Carroll influence. I think they'll be more diligent about that because it's all about getting impact players at premium positions. And I think we kind of veered away from that last year because we were more in a win now situation. But now, Spytek, when he had that end of season press conference, it was really revealing because he was non-committal on Maxx Crosby. And that's one of the things I immediately picked up on because we had already been alluding to that. And then he was also saying that, look, he's not expecting a quick turnaround. He's cool with a slow burn, with a slow cook. Put this thing in a slow cooker. Let that pot roast break down and that let it cook, let it simmer. It's not microwaving it, man. We making soul food, not fast food.
No, facts. And another thing too, because now we fast forward. It's the off season. It's the Super Bowl. Just the season's officially over with the Super Bowl just passing up last weekend. Now we're hearing all the noise. We've been hearing all the noise. We're hearing the rumors. We're hearing the Jay Glazers. We're hearing all these NFL insiders talk about the possible, disconnect between the Raiders and Maxx Crosby and how they can literally see a trade happening. Jay Glazer is one of the respected insiders in the NFL. You know what I mean? Just saying. And then there's the Diana Rossini's and there's the, Albert Breers who chimes in on it. Like they all are saying, they're kind of saying the same thing. There's something there. There's something not going on like between the Raiders and Maxx. And when you think about it, as I know a lot of people were like, well, Maxx is still all in. Like you hear him talk like what? Well, like he's still all in. He's still going to be a Raider and this, that, and the third. I heard Rich Gannon say the other day he was with, he's seen Maxx during the presser and Maxx is such a great player. He's just he's locked in. Maxx is going to be Maxx no matter what. At the end of the day, and the Raiders, to their, just to be transparent, the Raiders have put out that they want to keep Maxx. They're going to find a way to keep Maxx, but this is why I like Spytek, bro. Spytek, he know how to play the game. This is the value of Spytek, and I try to talk about this before. In certain moments, I'm like, man, like I didn't see that coming. I didn't see Genty getting drafted. I didn't see, and the reason why let's leave alone Genty alone. No, because
everybody have mocks. Like 95% of the mocks.
No. I'm not talking about the mocks 5 months in advance of the draft. I'm not talking about the mocks 3 months in advance. I'm talking about the ones that matter. The mocks that matter are the literally right before the draft. From all the top draft experts. I'm talking about that. And they weren't saying Ashton Genty. They were saying offensive linemen. They were saying pass rushers. They were saying everybody but Genty. They were saying all of that. And
most of them were Genty. Trust me.
No.
There was one or two that said Kelvin Banks.
No.
Most, like 90% of them.
Your boy Todd McShay. Your boy Todd McShay was like, he even gave Spytek credit. He's like, man, he got the runaround. Like they put some smoke out there, it got the runaround. And McShay, he's connected. I mean, he's been in the business for a while, so I'm sure he has people that he talks to, and the Raiders.
He changes his opinions like he changes his draws, bro. We saw it with Dante Moore.
I know, but it was a guy that you kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like you pay attention to what he's saying because
everybody.
Yeah, I know, but you pay attention to him because why? Because he's picking up on what's being talked about around the NFL in league circles. So whether you agree with it or not, he's gonna be talking about things that are like he's picking up from other teams. So what I'm saying is I didn't see the Genty pick happening right before the draft. I was hearing everything but Genty. Now that being said, fast forward, Jacoby Myers trade. It's another spy tech move. Whether you agree with it, the Jacoby Myers trade or not, just like whether you agree with the Genty pick or not. The GM for the Jaguars was like, when he said to describe the Raiders and how they went about trying to trade Jacoby Myers, he said the whole time the Raiders made it clear that they weren't interested in trading him. Trading Jacoby. Until the very last moment. So what that told me is that like he did that so he can maximize the value of the player. All I'm saying is I feel like Spy Tech is giving me.
I think we reached to get praise. Like, but bro, like that is standard. Know who's playing the game right there? Know who's playing the game in that situation? The Jaguars GM is playing this game in that situation because just like I said, you never want a team to feel like they've been taken advantage of, or to feel like they came out on the sorry end of a deal. So he's like, oh man, this dude, he's gonna big him up. Oh man, this dude drove a tough bargain. Oh my goodness. We was in there, man, to the last second trying to iron things out. I didn't know where he was coming from. I didn't know he wanted to trade him. I didn't know how, I thought he was asking for this and he changed his mind, asked for that. He's going to big him up because you know what that's going to do? That's going to bring Spy Tech back to the table in the future. And that's going to lay the groundwork for future negotiations and future trades to be consummated. He's playing the game too. And I'm sure Spy Tech is playing the game as well. Like, I mean, all these teams are playing the game. That's my point. Is like, we look to give praise. But all these teams are playing the game.
Yeah, but the thing is, in years past, I'm the reason why I'm pointing this out because in years past, that's not what we've seen from the Raiders front office. Literally, the year before, a better player was traded for a third-round pick, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know Devontae Adams is a number one receiver. Whether what spectrum of that number one he is, he's a legit number one receiver. He's a talented number one receiver. He comes with everything. You could tell there's going to be a list of teams, of good teams that would want Devontae Adams on their team, and they literally got a third round pick, and that's it. And this is a guy that's been successful, super successful at his position. Now Jacoby Myers, he had barely 1,000 yards the season prior, and everything before that, he never sniffed 1,000 yards a season. And he's like, what, 28, 29? And we've seen the numbers for and I'm not look.
Numbers are comparable to Courtland Sutton. That's all I was saying. Like, that's what I say. He's basically Courtland Sutton.
Well, I think Courtland Sutton had more 1,000-yard seasons, right?
He had two. Jacoby had one, and he had one that was like 900-something yards. And so it's like
look, my point is not to take a shot at Jacoby Myers. My point is to like I look at front offices in years past with the Raiders, and they didn't play the game. They played it wrong. There are times where they got like a trade haul here and there, but for the most part, I just feel like Spy Tech, there might be something there, and I think what he's doing right now, what the Raiders are doing right now, they're all just playing it cool until they can get that right. So what the message is?
Gruden and Mayock didn't play the game. I think that's what we're confusing. Gruden and Mayock didn't play the game. I think Reggie played. Reggie was kind of bad.
Reggie from a talent evaluator perspective, like you could tell he had like an eye for talent in some ways. Yeah. He had his misses. Don't get me wrong. He had his misses. Yeah. He had his misses.
He was a scout. But that was his deal.
But he was terrible.
He was good. He was great with the cap, and he was good at and identifying.
Did he really handle the cap though? There was a guy I think in that building that handled the cap. I think it was a separate guy that handled that.
Yeah, yeah. I think Mark Bedane or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
no, but Reggie McKenzie was involved in it too, though, because like, but our before that our cap was trash. So like, so look,
Yeah, yeah.
whether McKenzie
Our
hired the guy to do it or he did it himself, Reggie was
I, th-
the person
I
responsible for
think
getting
Bedane,
our
but
cap in order
Bedane was with the team for a long time.
for a while. Yeah,
For
yeah.
a long
But
time.
like somebody had to empower him because Al Davis wasn't letting him. Like he wasn't
Well,
doing it with Al Davis.
I don't know. I don't want to give. You want to give him credit, but I don't know if I want to give him that credit because like the timing of like Al Davis and his contracts, and then he died, and then like obviously the Raiders had to dig themselves out a hole, which
Reggie
but
McKenzie was played a big part in it.
he played a part in it. But I guess, but well, my point is that like, man, I think there's something to what the Raiders are doing right now. I think they're playing it cool. Maxx isn't really saying anything, but him not saying anything is like kind of like getting some fans like kind of like frustrated just because like they want to hear like without a doubt like, oh, he's a Raider and this, that, and the third. And, you know, all he's saying is like, oh, I'm not going to address all this. You know, I did this in the past and it just caused more problems. So I'm not going to say anything and yada, 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 this, that, and the third. And then, you know, when you hear all these insiders, everybody talking about the Raiders and where they stand on it, they're not really saying that they want to trade him or not. But what it really means, the translation to me, what it really means is that it better be the right trade package. We're not gonna trade Maxx Crosby for nothing. So that's why they're not gonna go around shopping Maxx Crosby. They're not gonna go around telling teams that they're gonna trade. What they're doing is like, hey, they're letting the rumors fly out, all these rumors. So teams, I think it was Albert Breer. He said it was about like 20 teams in the NFL, like, or Jay Glazer. I don't know if it was Jay Glazer. He said 20 plus teams asking about, hey, is this Maxx stuff real? So he's just creating that buzz till the right offer is presented to the Raiders. Because they don't want to like entertain all these trade offers and then all of them are trash and then they have to stick with Maxx and Maxx is really mad. Then they accept a terrible offer. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they got to play. So right now the Raiders are playing the game, and I think that Spytek so far, he's shown he's capable of at least doing that. My guy, Big Mike Raider in the building.
Big Mike.
Salute to my guys. I think I may be alone on the island about this. Keep Maxx and turn this around in 1 or 2 seasons. You know, that's a possibility.
It is.
It's a possibility. But then, like, what's turnaround in your eyes, Severe? What's turnaround in your eyes, Big Mike? Like, you know, what's turnaround? Is it just making the playoffs? Or is being a consistent team that plays for a playoff, that competes for a playoffs to become a contender for the Super Bowl? Like, what are we saying when we say that, hey, we're going to keep Maxx Crosby and we're going to turn this around for 1 or 2 seasons? Because our standards are very low. Raider Nation standards are very low because our standards is like, can we please get into the playoffs?
Yeah.
Some fans like, oh, can we get a playoff win? Because we haven't seen a playoff win in, for some fans, never. I haven't seen it since 2002. Let alone a Super Bowl contender. Because that's the goal, right? That's the goal. We want the team to compete for a Super Bowl. So we got to ask ourselves, keep Maxx and turn around for 1 or 2 seasons. Is it going to be a one and done type of situation? We get to the playoffs and then like we kind of sub 500 because the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm looking at the team and there's so many holes. Look at the defense. Look at the defense alone. Like, there's enough holes on this football team where not all the moves can be addressed this offseason. Mm-hmm. It's going to take, I'll say, damn. I'm gonna say like at least 2 seasons, but 3 for sure. Where we can be a Super Bowl contender if everything goes right. Super Bowl contender.
At least for a Super Bowl contender.
Because
yeah, I think 3. Depending on how fast Mendoza develops, if we draft him.
And that's the part of it too. It's not just adding talent. It's like, yeah, right. But it's not just adding. It's not just adding talent. It's also developing the talent. Because people talk about that great, let's say that 2014 draft, right, with Derek Carr. What was their record? What was their record that first season? They were 4-12 or 3-13.
Yeah.
when they had those 16-game seasons. Like they were a bad team. And then the next season they were 7-9. And then the next season they were what, 12-4. 12-4. That's 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So stuff like this takes time, but I mean, if we keep Maxx, we keep Maxx, but I just don't want us to be that franchise to be scared to make like tough moves. Like I've seen it all, man. If like this ain't Khalil Mack. This ain't Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack,
It's not, bro.
it's not
Look,
Khalil Mack,
I
bro.
love Max. He's a great Raider. You know, he'll probably go down in history as a greater Raider just because he spent more time here. But as just player for player, he's not a better player than Khalil Mack, man. So and like I said, just the timelines don't match up. It just makes all the sense in the world for us to move off of him. Like the only thing keeping him here is some kind of emotional attachment because I don't think we're going. I think the way you turn the team like this around in 1 or 2 seasons, either you have to have an incredible draft. Fernando Mendoza has to, develop incredibly fast, kind of like Drake May did, with the help of Josh McDaniels and that coaching staff there, or you just get a whole bunch of young talent on your team, and they grow, and that's kind of what we did with 2014, where we had a really good draft. We got a lot of good young talent in that draft class, and those guys grew, and then we had a solid 2015 draft. And then, bam, 2016, we're a competitive team, right? We're Super Bowl contenders. You know, that sprinkled in with some smart free agent acquisitions. But the way to accelerate all of that, man, is to take an aging asset that's value is depreciating by the day because his trade value is only getting worse, right? Right now, part of what makes his trade value so good is that people still have an idea in their mind of what Maxx Crosby is. And we don't even know yet what he'll be back. Will it be when he comes back off of the surgery? We assume he's going to be the same as Crosby. You never know. And then his contract, the amount of time you get on that contract, the 2 years, that's the most valuable thing because unlike Michael Parsons, even though Michael Parsons is younger than Max, teams trade when you were trading for Michael Parsons, you knew immediately you have to make him one of the highest paid defensive players in the league, right? Second probably to Myles Garrett. You don't have that same concern with Max. You know you got a nice little buffer there to kind of to try to win, and then when it comes time to pay him, then okay, you can kind of see how that goes. But with Micah, you have to pay him immediately. So that's the difference. So that's why you can maybe eke out a deal that's close to Micah because of that 2-year deal. But every game that passes by, every snap or every offseason practice, every OTA, every team meeting that you lose having Maxx Crosby, his value just gets lower and lower.
Yeah. And I don't want to get into like who was a better talent or player. I think they both kind of held, like they both were the best players on their team. Like Khalil Mack was the best player on their team at the time of the trade, and then Maxx was the best player. The reason why I say it's not the same situation, Khalil didn't even, he never got an extension after his rookie deal. And he was traded away right before the season. To me, that was shocking. Like the way it unfolded, like I'm thinking like, oh, okay, the Raiders they're gonna extend Khalil Mack. All right, cool. They extended, Derek Carr at the time. I think they might have did they give an extension to Amari Cooper, or he was up for that too as well. But he was the guy. He was the next guy up after Khalil Mack. And they end up trading him too. But what ended up happening when they traded him? It started a rebuild process.
Yeah.
A mini rebuild. The Raiders did a terrible job.
They didn't do it well.
When you give a head coach GM control,
you can't knock the process, right? You can't knock the results. If the process was right, you can't get mad at the results. They just didn't do what they were supposed to do with those picks. They did the right things in those situations where they got the picks, and they just squandered them. That's not, that doesn't mean you shouldn't go back to that same situation again and do those trades again. Just make better picks.
And that's the number one thing, too, that a lot of people will say when we talk about trades, especially trading away like a great player on the team. Like, yeah, I want to keep the great players, but then it got to make sense, too, as well. Like, if I see a great player is getting up there in his prime, and then I see the team is like, damn, it's not – when is this team going to be ready to compete? So when we can take advantage of having a great player like Maxx, like if that starts getting farther and farther away apart, then this offseason is probably like the last, like this you could really get great value in a trade right now. And let's say they keep him, and let's say that it's going to be the same outcome. They end up trading him at some time. They're not going to get the same value. So what part of that makes sense? This is what I'm saying. I want the Raiders to have that ability to make these tough decisions. They got it, like someone in that building. I think Spytek is hopefully going to be that guy. I mean, he felt good enough to where to tell Maxx to sit down. And Maxx, up until that point, can do no wrong. He could do whatever. He could influence head coaching hires. He could do everything he wanted to do. But that was the first time where they was like, "Hey, you got to do this."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and he didn't take that well. And I'm sure from his perspective, it's like, man, I'm on a losing team. I'm not winning. You guys keep firing and hiring coaches. And now you're not letting me even do what I want to do. Like, this is what I'm getting paid. This is what I want to do. This is why I prepare my body. You're not. So I get his perspective. But that's to my bigger point of like, the Maxx and the team are on two different pages. But we'll see. We'll see. Mike, I know Mike was saying that to keep Maxx, it's a possibility. But
I can understand why because people see the Patriots, the quick turnaround with the Patriots, the fairly quick turnaround with the Jaguars. They see that,
or college,
like
or college. They look at college. They look at Signetti, what he did, and like all these quick turnarounds.
But see, the thing you can turn over the college difference. You can turn over the transfer portal allows you to turn over an entire roster in one offseason, right? You can't really do that in the NFL. So like they see some teams can do it, quickly. And the Texans were able to do it. They went from the picking number 2 overall to winning the division, winning the playoff game that first year. So they see that stuff and they think like, why can't it be us? But like that, you can't allow that to not let you think pragmatically, And I think that, like that's a hope that you can make that happen, but I don't think it's a likelihood that you can make that happen, And I don't know if we're even if we even have the correct infrastructure to even do it right now. And I don't think it's there. I just don't think it's there. Not that quickly.
Yeah. Real quick, man. Smoke in the building. Appreciate the super chat. He says the longer you prolong it, the messier it can get. Now, facts. 100%. Especially because you got an incoming rookie QB coming in, and he has some things to figure out. Even though you expect him probably to get some things right away, he's still a rookie QB. He still needs time to develop. Raiders still need some pieces. Raiders need to still prove they can build an offensive line. Like we need to figure that out. I think that needs to be a priority, is to build out the offensive line. And be honest with you, outside of Maxx, we got to solidify that defensive line too. Like who's going to be? We need another edge. We don't know who's going to be on the opposite end of Maxx Crosby. Let's say if he does stay. We got to figure that out. We got to look at we got all these defensive free agents. Who's going to come back? Who are they going to keep? If you talk to some people, they're like, I don't want none of them. You know what I mean? Like, let's move on. Let's figure it out, because the reason why is sometimes, new coaching staff, new guys in the building, they're going to want to get their guys. I think Spytek is going to probably, help recognize where the talent is. But at the end of the day, the coach needs a player that fits his system. So there's going to be a lot of that too. So it's going to be like the Raiders need it. Like, I'm glad they got Kubiak, but hopefully him and his coaching staff could be here for the next 2 to 3 years, so they can now start building and keeping players in the same system, developing them. But we just have a lot of holes, so we just got to figure that out. Salute to everybody pulling up. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Real quick, man. The Raiders now, they got to fill out their coaching staff. And, I'm glad they were able to identify their head coach, get their number one. It seems like their number one guy in Kubiak. You can make an argument maybe with some other guys, or, we want to,
I mean, maybe Mentor, but outside of Mentor, I think Kubiak was their number
one
guy.
Mentor was probably another guy. And then there's guys that we liked, but, obviously they went a different direction. But the fact is, they identified the number one guy and they got him. That's good for the Raiders. Last year, they identified their number one guy, and the backup plan was terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible. But so they got Kubiak, but the problem with getting Kubiak, I know everybody wants to keep it super positive. The problem though is you got to wait the entire playoffs to the Super Bowl, and now you have to figure out who's gonna, Hey, I'm hoping that offensive line coach, I know he has connections to Benton. I'm not sure if he's able to get him out of that coaching staff. I know he's followed him all around everywhere he's gone. He followed him from Saints to the Seahawks. Yeah. We'll see if he's going to be the next offensive line coach for the Raiders. I know old boy from the Eagles, he was just let go. He stepped away. But Stoutland, I don't know if he's
coming here.
He ain't coming here. Hey, money talks. Money talks, man.
But I think Philadelphia would have paid him. I think Philadelphia would have paid him whatever he wanted. Like, yeah, he probably could have got a damn near blank. He probably could have got a damn near blank check in Philly. And like I said, man, like relationships matter. How you treat people matters. And who brought him from the college ranks to the pros? Chip Kelly. I don't know how tight they are, but if you did the guy that gave me my opportunity that when nobody else was even looking at me to be an offensive line coach in the NFL. This guy took a chance on me, bringing me. I forgot where his last stop was. Maybe his last stop was Alabama. I can't remember where his last stop was. But bringing me from the college ranks to the league, and he's been there ever since. Right? He's never worked for any team besides the Eagles, and Chip Kelly's the guy that gave him that job. And we low-key just did Chip Kelly kind of dirty. So like I don't know how tight they are. So they could not be cool anymore or whatever. But if they still have a good relationship, that stuff matters. That stuff matters.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of. So I seen something, and we talked about this kind of briefly before the show, and then it made me think about it more. I'm like, man. But there are some people saying that the Raiders could be targeting Jim Schwartz at defensive coordinator. The former defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. We all know how they had a great defense over there. Jim Schwartz is a former head coach, so that's kind of nice there. Nice little perk. You got some experience on staff, and at a very important, assistant coach position at defensive coordinator, opposite side of the ball. Clint Kubiak is going to have full control of that offense, so that defensive coordinator position becomes all that important too. So getting him would be huge. The only thing is he was under contract. He resigned, and I'm not sure how the assistant coaching contracts work. I don't know if he would still be under contract after he resigned. I know if he was a head coach, possibly that would be a whole different story. For defensive coordinator, I've never seen a situation where, a team went after an assistant coach that was still under contract. And if he was still under contract, that means that the Browns probably will get in there and be like, all right, you're going to have to give us something, And if that's the case, I'm not giving more than a 7th round pick. 7th round pick, I'll do it. I'll do it for a 7th round pick.
Yeah. The Browns going to laugh at you. They're going to laugh at you and hang up the
or get nothing. Or tell the Browns, or get nothing. What do you want? Oh, you don't want nothing? Okay. You don't want a 7th round pick?
No. Why the Browns won't get nothing? No, why they won't get nothing? Because the Browns control Jim Schwartz until he comes back into the league and fulfills that contract.
How long is his contract? Let me see.
So, and the thing about it is, contracts toll. So, contracts toll. So he's not just gonna I'm gonna sit I have 3 years left of my deal. I'm just gonna sit down for 3 years and be done. Like, nah, bro, that contract tolls. So you owe us 3 years of services. So if you ain't coaching for us, then that contract tolls. So anytime you want to come back to the league, you owe us 3 years. It's the same thing with Deshaun Payton. You owe us those services. You have to fulfill that contract. So if we want Jim Schwartz, we're gonna have to give up some kind of compensation. So probably like 4th round, maybe late 3rd round pick, something like that. They're gonna want something cool. They want something cool, especially cool. Know why? Because how Jim Schwartz handled things. Jim Schwartz disrespected the organization, flipped him the bird on his way out the door, essentially. And so the Browns are there in no rush to do him any favors to help him go to anywhere where he wants to go. And they're not going to help the destination that he wants to go to either. They're going to be just as petty towards Jim Schwartz as Jim Schwartz being toward them because they didn't want him to leave.
Well, that's not good business,
So
though.
now,
That's not good business. That's very emotional. That's very,
but look,
that's very emotional.
Emotional damage.
But who was the emotional party in this? Was it the Browns or was it Jim Schwartz? So Jim Schwartz, he instigated this emotional battle. And I'm sure the Browns, just to set an example to anybody else that wants to try some BS like this, oh, okay, we're going to reciprocate your behavior. So you think you can leave and go anywhere you want to, and we just going to wipe our hands of the situation? And nah, bro, you about to pay a penance for this. It's going to cost you.
No. Okay, look. So this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I don't know how emotional Jim Schwartz was, but I think Jim Schwartz wanted the head coaching job. He didn't get it, so he wants to move on and go somewhere else to try a different plan of action. Just like Patrick Graham, he wanted to go somewhere else. So then he has a better chance to get to, because his ultimate goal obviously is to become a head coach. And he felt like it's not going to happen with the Browns. So he's thinking like, I'm going to go somewhere else. Now he's coming to the Raiders. So I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be a long plan right there. So maybe to your point, very emotional because now you pivoted to the Raiders with less talent. But I'm reading the details of his contract. So he's under contract with the Browns for 2 more seasons, 2026 and 2027, with the second year being a club option. Because he resigned rather than being fired, the Browns hold his contractual rights and are not expected to let him coach elsewhere in 2026, forcing him to likely sit out. So if that's the case, the Browns can legally prevent him from taking another coaching job for the duration of his contract. Damn.
Exactly. And
2 years.
I thought it told. So maybe it doesn't told it. So maybe it's just he has to wait that 2 years. I thought it told, but I guess I was wrong on that.
Man, that's
player contracts told. So like a player contract, like they can sit out, and when you come back, you signed a 5-year deal. You come back after 2 years, bro. You still got a 5-year deal in place. Like that's how it is with players. But I guess it's not the same with assistant coaches.
Yeah, not like I said, man. I'm not giving more than a 7th-round pick for Schwartz. Just not because him as a coach is bad. It's just that he's gonna leave.
Yeah,
he's gonna leave as the first chance he gets to get a head coaching job somewhere else. He's going to leave. So you're gonna give away a 3rd or 4th-round pick who's under contract with the team for 4 or 5 years, or for 4 years at least, at the very least, and that's solid depth. That can be a possible starter. That can, you know what I mean. If you're just doing the math, guaranteed. At the very, minimum 4 years under contract for a guy that's going to bounce at any given moment.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. I know he's a good coach, but 7th-round pick because 7th round, like they're not. You can make a case that 7th-rounder is probably not going to make the team. There's plenty of examples that happen. So
exactly, but
yeah,
that's exactly why the Browns ain't gonna take that.
Facts.
You're making the argument why the Browns would not take that.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying who's going to offer him anything. That's my point. When I say that, I'm not saying that like it's not a low compensation. It's like who's going to trade for him. If there's nobody trading for him, that means the Raiders somewhat have the leverage. That's their leverage. Yeah. The Browns have the leverage because they control the rights of his contract, and they could easily say, no, we'll just keep him. But the thing is, the longer you keep him, I think the value goes down because it's not like you're not talking about like you're not talking about Sean Payton. You know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about like a Mike Tomlin. These are guys that if they sat a year, we're not even talking about Mike McCarthy. We're not even talking about Mike McCarthy. We're talking like those guys, they actually head coach teams and went to the Super Bowl and they won it. Yeah. We're talking about an assistant coach who was a head coach who had, okay success, with a team with Stafford and Calvin Johnson. I mean, I'm saying, okay, did they have one playoff appearance under him? Maybe one.
But but the value isn't in him as a head coach. It's in him as a defensive coordinator. And he's probably like top 5 defensive coordinator in the league.
But
And
who in their right mind is going to trade a third round pick for a fourth round pick?
a fourth is more realistic. Ain't nobody trading a third rounder.
Fourth
rounder.
Would you do it for a fourth?
Yeah.
Come on. I wouldn't do it.
I do it for a fourth. No, I do it for a fourth because I don't think, even though he's gonna leave the first opportunity he gets at being a head coach, he's an older defensive minded head coach. I don't think there's gonna be too many teams out there that come knocking down Jim Schwartz's door for him to be head coach. The team he was just with that wanted him to stay there.
Yeah.
Like he was their last resort head coach option. And when they got an old ass man to take the job, they're like, "Cool, we'll take this old ass man." So,
hey, I like this trade, man. Trade all pro Thomas Booker for Schwartz.
You better watch your mouth.
That's fun.
Thomas, Trent Williams Booker, or Charles Trent Williams Grant. Oh, we're talking about that Thomas Booker. I'm thinking about Charles Grant. Oh yeah, I'll trade Thomas Booker in the second.
Oh man, please. Cleveland reports are indicating a 4th round pick for Schwartz to the Raiders.
Oh damn! See, that was just off the top of my dome.
Hell no! I'm pass. It's a pass. It's a pass.
I'm telling you,
it's a pass. I wouldn't do it.
I'm doing it, bro. I'm doing it for sure. For that level of impact as a defensive coordinator, especially for Clint Kubiak, bro. Yeah, I'm doing it.
A fifth.
I'm doing that.
A fifth.
I'm doing the fourth.
SoCal says fifth.
You could try to haggle it down. I'm doing the fourth. Bro. What is the fourth?
A 7th round and a box of Skittles, man. I'm bro. Who was trading? Like, look, all Raiders were ruthless.
7th rounder and the box of Skittles will get you Deuce Gruden.
Hey. The Raiders, if they were ruthless, they'll just tell them straight up, like, who's trading from? Tell me who's trading from. Then I'll trade you more.
But look, bro.
Ain't nobody trading from.
Look, and the Browns will be ruthless right back and say, find somebody that's better. Hire somebody that's better.
All right, I'll get someone that's more for free.
That's well and good. But is he gonna be as good as Jim Schwartz? Is he gonna offer you what Jim Schwartz offers you in terms of his ability as a DC and his head coaching experience? So that as much as they can play hard, we can try to play hardball with them. They can play hardball right back.
All right, 6. A conditional 6th round pick. It's a 7th, but it can go to 6 if the Raiders defense is top 20.
5th is the lowest they're going to go.
If the Raiders defense is top 20 next season, we're giving them a 6th round pick.
The 5th is the lowest they're going to go. And they're going to ask for a 4th. They're going to probably ask for a 3rd, and they'll probably settle for a 5th. The 5th is the lowest they're going to go. I'd do it for a 4th just to get it done. Oh, bro.
Raider Ray says throwing Genty Paris shirt. Yeah, that's disgusting. I think they might pass on that one.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, they gonna hang up the phone, bro.
Oh man, but hey, man, look, we just wanted to come here, chop it up, talk about the Raiders like we usually do. We finally got into that Maxx Crosby conversation. We always talk about it in, on the go, and we've talked about it so many times where we're like, you know what, we're gonna stop talking about this because everybody's like, oh, you guys are. They kept calling us haters. They kept calling. They're calling me haters. Like, oh, you're trying to push a narrative and this, that, and the third. So I didn't say nothing. And guess what happened? What happened? Everybody else started talking about it. Everybody in the media start talking about it. All the top insiders, start talking about it. So you know what? They gave us no choice to bring back this conversation. So that's why we had the Maxx Crosby conversation.
Bro, look, we traded a 5th round for Kenny Pickett, bro. I'm giving up a 4th for Jim Schwartz, bro. I'm getting a 4th and a 2nd, bro, for Jim Schwartz, dog. I'm doing it, bro, because that's the perfect guy to pair with Kubiak.
But think about
the ideal coach.
Think about it's gonna. First of all, he's gonna come to the Raiders. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm not saying he come back, but be prepared, Raider Nation. His defense is completely opposite to what the Raiders have been running. The last few seasons with Patrick Graham and obviously with Pete Carroll, I'm just saying.
You trade Maxx and you trade Maxx and trade that 1st round pick, get a whole bunch of rebuild your whole roster.
Bro, if you're gonna trade for Schwartz, a 4th round pick, then you got to keep Maxx.
You don't got to.
I'm just saying. if you're gonna go all in and trade a 4th round pick to a rebuilding team that needs talent, they need their draft picks, and a 4th rounder could be a starter.
Exactly. That's why you trade Maxx and get more draft picks.
Come on.
You're making my point. You give Schwartz cart. You give him like, look, bro, I'm giving you some picks. We're gonna build on this defense. I got Clint Kubiak. He's gonna help turn Genty into a better player. We got Brock Bowers, the best tight end in the league. We got young quarterback Fernando Mendoza. We got some young guys on the offensive line that we kind of like. We see. I don't know what we have in Clint and Jack Best rather. I don't know there.
You talking about players on offense? How about the players on defense?
Yeah, but that's why you look. That's what you need those extra picks for, because your 1st round pick going to a Mendoza. You trade Maxx, you get a 1st round pick.
Right. I'm not arguing about the draft.
That's Caleb Downs. That's Mansour Delaney. Like you can do something with that.
I'm not arguing with you about the draft call that we can give at Maxx. My point is that I don't want to give away a draft pick to a assistant coach who might leave at any given moment, who might become a head coach. Let's say he does an outstanding job next season. It might be okay results, because I know a lot of teams.
I don't think it's gonna happen. But I don't think it's gonna happen for him.
So I don't know. I just think to me, I'd rather keep the 4th. I'd rather keep a 4th. Conditional 7th. Maybe conditional 6. Maybe conditional 6.
Look, bro, you living in La La Land, right,
bro? I'm not giving up draft picks for assistant coach. I'm cool.
He ain't coming here. I mean, this is what it.
Hey. All I'm saying is, Spy Tech has an easy phone call. How many people are trading for Shorts? Oh, okay. Like there's nobody trading for him. So where's the demand? If there's no demand, then they can't call the shot.
We don't know.
Who? Okay.
We don't know.
Okay.
We don't know who's going to want to trade
we
from
do know.
Next year.
We do know.
We don't know who's going to want to trade from next year.
We can figure out. At the very least, we could just look around the league. Where have the defensive coordinator positions been filled?
I don't think all of them have. I think they're still
the Cardinals.
3.
The Cardinals.
The Cardinals, and they're rumored to be. They're linked to Wink Martindale, but that hasn't been finalized yet.
Okay. Okay. We'll say that's one team. With the Raiders.
Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah. So, like I said, man, conditional 7th round pick, man. Maybe a 6. If I'm feeling good,
look,
I'm telling you.
And they'll say, I'd rather set the example and not have them go anywhere, and prove to you guys that we're not going to let coaches or assistant coaches just renege on their contracts whenever they want to.
Oh, well, okay. If the Browns want to be emotional, they can be emotional. We can't control how people feel.
That's not emotional.
That's emotional.
Being pragmatic. That's being pragmatic.
No.
You're setting it. You're setting a standard.
No, what I'm saying is that it wouldn't be emotional if they understood that, okay, this would probably be the best time to actually capitalize on the value. The longer you keep them, the less chances you're going to get a good.
It's not about emotion in that point. It's about this guy. We wanted this guy to stay with our team. He got emotional about wanting to leave. We're not going to let people say, I even though I have a contract in place, I want to renege on my contract to go somewhere else because I'm mad.
Okay, this makes sense. This makes sense. I gotta look into this. Gotta double check this, but because I've never seen an assistant coach get traded for. So I hope y'all know that you can't trade for coordinators. But I gotta double check this. I don't think it's ever happened before. I know head coaches have been traded for. The first time I ever seen a head coach get traded for, if you're a Raider fan, you know is John Gruden. That was the first time I ever seen like anything like that. I think was it 2 first round picks or just 1?
I think it was just 1. Might have been. Oh, I don't remember. It might have been 2, or it might have been a 1st and a 2nd. I don't remember.
Okay. All right. So it says NFL rules prohibit teams from directly trading assistant coaches, including offensive defense coordinators, while head coaches can be traded for draft picks. This mechanism does not apply meaning that they must be released from their contracts to join the team. So the Browns could just be, the Browns could just like, you know what? We don't feel like doing it. We'll just block you. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Lateral moves. Teams cannot block assistant coach from interviewing for coordinator positions with other clubs. But he's under contract though. No direct trades. Okay, teams can work around by releasing coach, allowing them to sign elsewhere using informal arrangements where compensation bundle with other. There might be. It looks like there could be. Although direct trades are forbidden, teams can navigate this by releasing coach from their contract. Huh.
Yeah.
So that's like the end. Like, okay.
Basically, it's a workaround. Like, all right, bro, you want us to release him from his contract?
Yeah.
It has to be like a two-way. It has to be like a two-way trade where it's like, okay, we trade you. You'll trade us a 4th-round pick for a conditional 7th in the future. So the Raiders will get a conditional 7th in the future.
I didn't even see it, bro.
Get a 4th-round pick, and then.
Is your comment erased? I didn't even see it.
I didn't see it.
I'll try to see if I can find it, bro.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't see it either. What was it?
Yeah. Hey, our mods, if there are mods in the chat, make sure you guys ain't like abusing the power that comes with being a mod, man. But we trust y'all to
put it one more time. But yeah, man.
Yeah. But nah, look. You're willing to go 4th round. I'd rather not. You know, I'd rather the Raiders give them as low a compensation as they can give for an assistant coach that can possibly leave after 1 season or 2. You're kind of betting that he's not going to become a head coach. But
I highly doubt he becomes a head coach.
But if he develops a top unit with the Raiders,
he had a top unit with the Browns. Listen, he had a top unit.
I'm just saying, like with Kubiak running the show on offense, and let's say the offense is cool. It's like good. Let's say it's not great, but let's say it's good. What a great.
They went to the playoffs a few years with the Browns on the back of that defense.
Yeah.
He had a number 1 overall unit, I want to say.
Short's not coming here if Maxx not here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they're going to trade a 4th-round pick, that's like basically Maxx, we want to keep you here. This is what we're willing to.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I think the likelihood, definitely decreases.
It's higher that the Maxx stays.
But look, he's leaving a way better situation, bro. So like, if that's he's leaving,
would Shorts even want to come here if Maxx is not here? That's the other part to it.
Would Shorts even want to come here? Period, bro. He's leaving a defensive line that has Myles Garrett and Mason Graham on the come up. A linebacking unit that has Carson Schlesinger, Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
You're getting Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah back, who's also a beast as a linebacker, who was one of the top linebackers when he was coming out of Notre Dame. A secondary that has Denzel Ward, who's a top 5 corner. Like, man, like why would he even want to come here in the first place? Like, he's leaving hella talent over there to come here. Like, so, like, I don't think Maxx being here is going to be the deciding factor. Like, well, I don't got Maxx Crosby. Like, bro. Like, he's leaving a way more talented unit over there to come here. So he's already taken a significant step back in terms of talent. Well, if I tell you that, okay, I'm going to trade this player to help get more young talent, I think that bodes, that would bode well in terms of attracting him more than having a guy that's off injured and disgruntled.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see how it shakes out. My guy, Black Sales Sports, we need to get you on here, man. I know he has strong opinions about the team. So y'all don't like Rob Leonard? I mean, we like him. I mean, I like him as a D-line coach. But then, like, I start thinking about, like, man, I mean, who's he developed?
I think he's done well.
I don't think he does a bad job, but it's just.
Tyree was a lost cause, though.
Yeah.
It was a lost cause.
I don't know. I want to believe in Rob Leonard, but it would be kind of like that would be a Maxx Crosby guy, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be
Todd Downing 2.0, bro.
Yeah. Salute to everybody.
No, I don't want to say that. I don't want to put that on. I don't want to put that. I don't put that on.
No. There might be some truth to what you're saying because it's like it's kind of risky. It's kind of risky.
It is risky.
It's risky because like usually when you want to give guys like that promotion, you want to like look at what got them that promotion. Like for example, like, oh man, look how, like if it's a QB coach who went to OC, like look how he developed so and so, right? Or if it was a D line, like he's a D line coach. Look at the unit, how it performed. It was one of the best pass rushing, number one against, like, you could, but with Rob Leonard, like a lot of players like him. I know he's well liked, but it's just, I don't know. I would rather go somewhere else with it, man, to be honest with you. Hey, look, I'll be honest. I'm be honest. Like,
I think you hold. I think you're holding Tyree against him. I think. Look, I think no matter what you say consciously, I think subconsciously you like, man, Tyree's a bust. And I'm looking at you, Rob.
Well, you know what? I'll give him credit. Last year, he went out and balled out with the Chason. He was playing well with the Raiders, and that started.
He was 1,000 times better than Tyree was last year. We should have kept him.
Yeah.
You feel me? No, I think Tonka played well. I think Pegues played well when he got in there. I think Jonah Laulu has played well. Snowden, I like what he did with Snowden. Only people he really ain't got a lot of is Thomas Booker, but I didn't really like Thomas Booker that much. And then Tyree. And I didn't like Tyree when we drafted him. So it's like,
yeah,
I'm cool. I'm like looking at it like, bro, I didn't expect him to do
and to be fair, Rob Leonard, because I want to like make it seem like he can't make that jump from a defensive line coach to defensive coordinator. To be fair, like, are the Raiders really throwing talent at defensive line? They're throwing like late round picks. They're throwing like, we all know Tyree's a bust. Like, it just is what it is. Like,
no, I wouldn't say we all know. I'll still get some comments every now and then. So.
I was holding out hope. I was like, maybe this is third year. Usually players break out, but more of the same.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like he could possibly, get in there at some points to maybe stop the run and stuff like that. But as an impact player, a guy that can consistently get after the quarterback, that's not him. Yeah. I'm not going to bet on him to being that for the rest of his career. But, maybe he can go somewhere where where there's guys and he could just come in and like make a play. Because there's guys all around him. You know what I mean? Like, he's not the guy where you want to count on to be the play. Because this year was his opportunity.
Exactly. The year Maxx got hurt last year was his opportunity.
That's true.
And he didn't do anything. So, it's like.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But, hey, man, we appreciate everybody coming through. Great show, great conversation. We'll be back at it next week, man. 50-50 show. Hopefully we'll hear more about the Raiders coaching staff and some of these guys getting hired. Because that's, just as much as the head coaching hire is important, the staff hires are important. So that's defensive coordinator, that's offensive line, so on and so forth. The Raiders did keep some coaching staffs on staff. I'm not sure if that's going to, maybe it gives Kubiak a little bit of like, all right, wiggle room as far as trying to find guys to fill out the staff. And then some of these guys, they get kept. Sometimes they get. So for right now, a guy like Rob Leonard, he's still under contract. But I think they let go a few coaches. Kind of the obvious guys, the Carrolls.
Exactly.
I thought Carroll and the Sons was fired as soon as Pete Carroll got fired. Pete, take you and your sons. Gotta go.
Exactly. Look, that would have been out the door before that.
Oh man, I think Ruggs instantly played into not drafting Carter. Yeah, nah, for sure. Yeah. Nah, definitely, 100%. It was hella obvious. It's hella obvious.
Yeah.
Super eyes. I like what he's been doing, Tonka. Okay. Yeah, man. We'll see, man. We'll see how it shakes out. Before we get up out of here, man, we got one more super chat. A says Rob L worked for McDonald and B Moore in 2022.
Ooh, interesting.
Maybe McDonald probably can give him, tell Kubiak, man, hey, this is the guy that you should get for your defensive coordinator spot. Or Kubiak can grab someone from McDonald's coaching staff.
Facts.
There's a lot of different scenarios, but that's okay. Nice little connection. Ace boy, man, appreciate the super chat, man. Appreciate that.
Appreciate you.
Severe, man, let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff.
Hey, man, you guys know what it is, man. The Severe Raider here on YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, X, IG. Everywhere, man. The Severe Raider. Holla at your boy, man. Tuesdays and Thursdays with my dog, PharoahNFL. 50-50 show and Around the Shield. And Sundays and Wednesdays Raider Roll Room, my dog, Christian Protect the Shield, and 805 Raider, man. Make sure y'all tap in. Like the video, hype the video, comment. Then just let us know what y'all think.
Rick says keep Rob Bell as a position coach. Yeah, that's a possibility. I think that's why the Raiders kept it on staff. Like, it gives them that kind of wiggle room to figure out the situation, and he might get that promotion. He might not. We'll see. But definitely follow me all over social media, PharoahNFL, IG, and on X. Obviously, follow Around the Shield on X and on IG. And then we'll be back here next week, a 50-50 show every Tuesdays, and then Around the Shield. Man, I forgot to do this, man. I forgot to put the number. Man,
No, you're gonna do it.
we're gonna have call-in shows in the future, man. So stay tuned. We're gonna make sure Around the Shield. What did Smoke says? Clint will have them guys ready to run through a big wall for him, right, Severe?
Yeah, man.
The sarcasm is real on that one, man. The sarcasm.
Right into a pillow factory, man. Right into a pillow factory.
No, we up out of here, man. All right, we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.